Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Brianne Nadeau, Council Member for Ward 1 and Chair of the Council's Committee on Human Services. Today's Wednesday, November 30th, 2022, and we're holding this meeting through the Zoom online platform. The time is 10:06 a.m., and I'm calling to order this additional meeting of the committee. For the record, I'd like to note that we have a quorum consisting of Ward 8 Councilmember Trayon White, at-large Councilmember Robert White, and myself. Today, the committee will consider and vote on one measure, Bill 24-120, the Emergency Rental Assistance Reform and Career Mobility Action Plan Program Establishment Amendment Act of 2022. The only measure, this legislation was introduced on March 1st, 2021 by Chairman Mendelson and Councilmember Bonds as the Emergency Rental Assistance Reform Amendment Act of 2021. Because the bill incorporates the text and purpose of Bill 24-801, the Career Mobility Action Plan Program Establishment Act of 2022, it's since been renamed. This legislation makes permanent two sets of emergency and temporary measures reforming the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, or ERAP, and allowing the Department of Human Services, or DHS, to continue operating its Career Map pilot program. First, ERAP. ERAP supports district residents facing housing emergencies by paying for overdue rent, late fees, and court costs if a household is facing eviction. ERAP also covers security deposits and the first month's rent for residents moving into new homes. The amount paid on behalf of eligible households depends on their income and available resources. Before the pandemic, residents were only eligible for ERAP if someone in their household was under the age of 18, a senior, or disabled, and if their income did not exceed 125% of the federal poverty level. When the business closures caused by the pandemic led to widespread unemployment, however, the need for emergency assistance increased exponentially, and the arbitrary nature of these restrictions was thrown into stark relief. Council responded by passing emergency legislation to expand access to ERAP, and the provisions of this legislation have now been in effect for more than 2 years. As public witnesses unanimously contend at the hearing on this bill, there's no reason to return to the pre-pandemic status quo when it was too hard for most households in need to access ERAP. That's why this bill sets the income limit for eligibility at 40% of area median income to align the program with Homeless Services Reform Amendment Act of 2005, increases the maximum allowable assistance payment to reflect current rental costs in the district, and allows DHS to waive a rule that restricts the number of months a household can receive ERAP funds during a public health emergency. It also allows applicants to self-certify their eligibility and makes burdensome case management optional. Additionally, this bill allows DHS to continue operating its 5-year Career Map pilot program without relying on repeated rounds of emergency and temporary legislation. The Career Map initiative is supported by $11.7 million in federal funding over 3 years. 300 families have already signed up for the pilot, and on September 19, 2022, the executive announced a $13.1 million expansion of the program that will allow an additional 300 families to enroll in 2023. Households participating in the Flexible Rent Subsidy Program, the district's rapid rehousing program for families, are chosen to participate in the Career Map via lottery. Career Map takes a holistic two-generation approach to supporting families. It just doesn't help families just make rent. It sets parents and children up to succeed in the long term by providing a tailored suite of services and supports. That means cash to prevent benefit cliffs and address emergencies, job training and placement focused on promotions, not just making a minimum wage, and a district-sponsored escrow account that each family gains access to when it leaves Career Map. I look forward to supporting the agency's innovative pilot today and to seeing how it will serve district families in the years to come. With that, I'm recommending the approval of the committee report and print for Bill 24-120. Is there any discussion on the report or print?
Chairwoman.
Councilmember.
Yes, I want to thank you for your leadership in pushing this forward with the markup. The bill before us today, the Emergency Rental Assistance Reform and Career Mobility Action Plan Program Establishment Act of 2022, takes two important steps towards making safe and secure living in the district and a reality for a lot of families in critical need. This legislation first reforms the ERAC program as you stated, to align eligibility requirements with the Homeless Services Reform Act and increase maximum allowance assistance payments. We know that using area median income, or AMI, or even MFI for that matter, to determine eligibility is not only more accurate for our region than using federal poverty guidelines, but allows more residents to access services. The outrageous cost of living in the district is primarily a driver of housing crisis which many of our residents are experiencing today. Expanding ERAP in this way is the most tangible and immediate steps we can take to improve the lives of District of Columbia residents. As we have heard from witnesses on this and many of the hearings, successful outcomes most frequently come when residents are able to access comprehensive services simultaneously and efficiently. The bill, secondly, makes a career mobility action plan program a permanent one. Career Map is an innovative program that I'm particularly proud to watch grow here in the district by providing real wraparound services, rental assistance, cash assistance, career placement and support, educational training, peer support, financial management assistance, and payments to offset losses once family reach benefit cliffs. We are giving families a real step towards getting out of poverty. I want to thank Chairman Mendelson and Chairman Barnes for introducing this legislation as we move towards the end of the council period. I want to also note how grateful and humble I am to sit in the Human Service Committee with you, Chairwoman Nadeau. Legislation has come to the committee, has some of the most transformative, impactful legislation that you have seen. I want to thank the hundreds of witnesses and residents who testified on the committee over the last 2 years and sharing their deeply and personal yet powerful stories of how we can better our district. I want to also thank my colleagues on here. See, we also joined by Councilmember Robert White here today, Janice Lewis George, Silverman, you Councilmember Nadeau. I feel like I'm missing somebody, so I apologize. I look forward to supporting this bill today. Thank you for allowing me to share my comments.
Thank you for your kind words. All right. Oh, okay. If it's more compliments, go ahead.
The opposite direction. No.
Oh, damn.
And I will be brief. I said a lot at our previous markup about how much I really enjoyed working with you and your team on this committee, and I appreciate how you balance the sort of needs and interests of members on the committee with the agencies, with the advocates and everything else. On this particular bill, on the ERAP provisions, the measure is responsive. It keeps in place helpful changes to the emergency rental assistance program made during the pandemic, as you mentioned, that make it more manageable for eligible residents to access needed support. So this really takes real concerns that you've heard from people who use these supports and puts it into law, pushes our government to be more responsive and more sensitive, and reduces the stress during already stressful periods in people's lives. And on the career map provisions, the longer term supports included in the career map program have the potential to provide stability and space for families to financially grow. So I look forward to seeing whether families find this model to be successful for them over time. But I'm really excited about these changes, and I appreciate your leadership here.
Thank you very much. Thank you both. Appreciate your comments. It's been great working with everybody over the past couple of years on these issues. And at this time, I will move to approve the committee report in print for Bill 24-120 en bloc, with leave for staff to make technical, conforming, and editorial changes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Indicate by saying aye.
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 Great. It is unanimous. Is there any other business before the committee? Maybe more compliments or, no, okay. Hearing none, I will adjourn us. So the time is now 10:14 a.m. and this meeting, most likely the final one of 2023 of the Committee on Human Services, is adjourned. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Peace.